Good day, everyone, and welcome to a Thursday video. It's actually not just Thursday, it's Seniors Day at the grocery store I go to. And getting old sucks, but every Thursday, 10% off your full grocery order. So, like, I spend $250, $300. That's 25 to 30 bucks right off my bill. It's a heavy price to pay to get 10%, to be old and have creaky knees and a sore back, but it's 10% off, so what do you do? So, I want to talk about AI again and how it's making everyone dumb. One of the ways you can really see this is in the titles of YouTube videos. The horrific grammar and terrible spelling, and people just don't even check. They put their title in and just post it. Things like, it's worse than you think. That's the one I just read a few minutes ago. But it's over and over. Every fourth video has got a grammar error, a spelling error. That might not be important to some people, but it is to me. Okay, that is an indication that the whole population is becoming dumber and dumber and dumber. It's not a positive thing. And it's because we're relying on technology to do everything for us. In a lot of schools now, spelling and grammar does not count because they've taught them that AI is going to take care of that for you anyway. You know, we had spell check for years, and I guess there's grammar, spelling and grammar check, whatever. So you didn't have to worry about it. The computer just fixes it for you. Terrible. Absolutely terrible. So we need more old school. We can't totally forget old school. When I had my business really rocking, one of the things that people would notice, and I mean, this was in a time when there was plenty of technology. It wasn't that long ago. Closed my school 8 years ago or something like that. So one thing everyone would notice is that I handmade every piece of curriculum. Like, if I gave somebody some tablature for a song or whatever, I hand wrote everything. There was no computerized, digital, nothing. I made every last thing. Sometimes I'd even go as far as, if I didn't have any tab paper on me, I'd draw the lines myself. You know, like a musical staff. Well, I would actually draw one and make it. And tons of people said, "Man, that's fantastic." When I take this home and I look at it, it's got a real personalized kind of feel to it. So I had some people, of course, make fun of me. I suppose you use pen and paper. You don't even... Yes, I use pen and paper. Like, dude, you're a dinosaur. Well, I'm a dinosaur that knows his grammar and spelling very well. When I was a kid, I was in spelling bees and everything. I was really good at that stuff. English was my strongest subject, probably. When I see how poor everyone's skills are today with just basic spelling and grammar, and they don't even know how to make a paragraph. They don't know how to indent their first line. They don't know anything. Get them to write a business letter. That should be really interesting. Now, I'd still have to look it up and refresh, but how many business letters have I written in my life? And when I was doing it all the time, I knew exactly how to do one. These are skills that we're losing completely. We're losing all that. Memories. Memories are terrible now. Know why? Well, what happens to your body if you don't exercise it? Your body falls apart. You sit around and you'll get overweight, and you'll be, worse than creaky knees and a sore back. You'll eventually just fall apart because your body needs exercise. Everything needs exercise. If you don't exercise your brain and your memory, it's going to stop working, and that's exactly what we got. I still remember my phone number from when I was a little kid. I remember my neighbors' phone numbers, my friends' phone numbers, my grandparents' phone number. All of them, my aunts, my uncles. I can remember every single number from back then. And even, I mean, even some of the students I've had, if they were somebody I called a lot, I still remember the number. This is essential as a musician because well, here's an example of what happens. The way people are now with no memories, and I've seen this in teaching, I've definitely proven this to be true. If they have poor memories because they're not using them, they can't even remember a chord progression with 4 chords in it. They can't remember what comes after E minor because you're not exercising your brain. You've got to manually do these things in order to keep yourself skilled and able to do this stuff. Eventually what's going to happen if we just rely on AI for everything, we're going to have, I'm sorry to say this, we've already got a population of half morons out there. It's going to get way worse, and no one is going to be able to even spell simple words. Grammar has already gone out the door. Most people online are typing big, huge paragraphs with not a piece of punctuation in them. There's something to read. You got to figure out where one part stops and the next one starts, and they all just run together. And the grammar's so bad you can't really tell what it's supposed to mean anyway. What is that? Like, this is what our teachers have done. They're more interested in teaching about the pride flag anyway. They don't care about spelling, grammar, and things that a person actually needs to know. And history is now gone too. They don't want you to learn about history. Learn about history, you'll see that they're doing the same shit they've been doing in the past. They're just doing it again. So they really don't want you to learn history. That's something apparently in universities, they really steer away from teaching any history now. Some of them do a little bit, but it's not preferred by the New World Order globalists. They don't want you to know history. They're rewriting history. They're giving you a new version of it. And most people are just complacent and don't care anyway. So if you have children, please take this seriously. If I'm learning a guitar solo, could be a, fairly long guitar solo, could be several hundred notes, could be 1,000 notes. A lot of notes to remember, a lot of techniques to remember. As time went on, I'm teaching people stuff. I saw their memories get worse and worse and worse. And they're not able to remember any of this, so they just put a music stand in front of them with the paper so they can look at it as they're playing, and then they're playing as shit because they're not focused on what they're doing. They're focused on what they should be able to remember up here. This is what AI is doing to us. Turning us into idiots without memories. Now, it's not everyone, of course. Some people understand this and stick to old school rules a little bit, but most people do not. Most people have abandoned doing anything manual. Some people haven't had a pen in their hands for 5-10 years. They won't touch a pen. It's only keyboards. That's not good. That's not good. When I was young, they used to teach us the importance of writing things down with a pen to drive it into memory. That's what it does. If you take a whole bunch of vocabulary words you're supposed to learn, and you're having trouble remembering the meanings of, write out the meanings, write out the definitions. Maybe do it 2-3 times. By the time you're done, you will remember. That's a way of driving things in your mind and keeping it in your memory. I can't believe we've just decided this is not important. Just because a machine's going to do it for us. The machine's going to be doing it for idiots who have no capacity anymore. It's frightening to me. It's really frightening to me. If you got a child, well, first of all, do not give them a phone. Do not give your child a phone. Don't let them have one until, in my opinion, don't let them have one ever. Teach them that the phone is demonic and evil, which it is. It's completely demonic and completely evil. I refer you to Delbert Blair, who talked about the cell phones and how demonic they were a long time ago when they first started coming out. He's like, yeah, I've got one too, but you have to realize the demon has been released and installed in this, and it's not good. This is something everybody has to be very aware of. Teach your kid to pick up a pen and write things down. Make sure your kid knows the importance of being able to spell. If AI is doing it for everybody, how is there so many titles? AI's not spelling it wrong, I don't imagine. That's people still doing it manually, like typing it out themselves, but they don't know how to spell, and they don't know what grammar is. And so if you don't know what that is, it's going to be pretty hard to get it right. So AI is making us dumber, folks. Don't let it happen to you. Don't let it happen to your kids especially. If you're from my generation, you may be all right in this respect, and maybe you haven't totally given your sovereignty over to technology. But if you have, beware, it eventually makes you dumb.